Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the market close. It's hump day. It's hump day, Wednesday, of course, June 14th, January 14th. So we're having quite the day on the market. A lot of red, a lot of green, and basically it's where it is green that's mattering. In fact, this is a materials day. So we're in a material world today, and gold's up, copper's up, Bitcoin's up, oil not so much, but somebody's really up today. Somebody's really up today. And there's only one way to say it. It's hi-ho silver. Let's go. Silver off to the moon. And once again, guys, silver's not being reset this week. Silver is not, if it is, it's being reset in the opposite direction. But silver's having a fantastic week thus far. Holy banana bread. All right, let's jump into the market. Let's get in there. Bang, boom. Here we go. TSX, bang, there it is. Only up 0.03%. So we were in a similar position yesterday. And guys, you guys know by the bell, yesterday by the bell, I had to turn my green sign red. I don't want to do that today. I don't want to do that today. So let's see if the market can hold. But we are currently on a red candle. So oh boy, I'm worried. But for now, we're green, sitting at, now it's 0.01%. So we're really close to the line. But for the month, overall, look at this month. This has been a fantastic month. I don't know if you can really have a better month. Look at this. So right now, year to date, the TSX is up 3.4%. So that's not too shabby. And this blue line, well, between here and here, that's 3.4% because that is the dividing line. So as long as we stay above the blue line, we are having a green January. And thus far, it's looking pretty darn good. It's looking pretty darn good. Of course, we got some other stuff coming up soon, too. Coming up on the 28th, that's going to be the next Bank of Canada rate decision. So we'll have to see if any of that chaos filters into the charts as we get deeper into the month. But so far, with the month almost half over, tomorrow will be, tomorrow technically is kind of the halfway point. We do have 31 days in January, but nonetheless, we'll see. We do have a show tomorrow, by the way, guys. The Financial Express continuing it. You guys notched another station for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have an opportunity to do Friday. Today, no pressure, no pressure. We still got the goats. If you guys want to see them, you know what to do. But there's no pressure to do it because there's no reward. Well, there's also the secret goat. Now, just talking a little bit about the secret goat. We're retiring the original 4. We've retired the first one because the first secret goat. Basically, the conditions to unlock it was 5 gifted subs. And Samantha pulled that off on the weekend. So we got to see that one. The new goat, I haven't given a clue yet. I haven't given a clue, but there is a way to unlock the new goat. And you guys could do it today. You could do it today. The only clue, I did give a clue yesterday. I said it's a non-monetary way. So, don't come in and say, oh, well, I'm just going to keep on gifting subs until it unlocks. It won't unlock. But a lot of people will be very happy that you did that. But you don't have to. You don't have to. So, anyway, back to the chart. How did I go on a goat tangent in the middle of the chart? I don't know. I'm prone to tangents. We know this. All right, so the TSX looking strong, as I mentioned before. Silver, and look, it's back up again, 0.05. Dropping south of the border, not so much. Look at this. Look at this. So the second half of this day has been recovery, but look at this morning. Holy banana bread. That's a big red candle. They almost went into negative territory on the month, the S&P 500. So they've had a pretty rough day, but we do see some recovery in the last half of the day here. They are up. They're up. No, they're down 0.57%. And it's even worse. The NASDAQ. Oh boy. Tech has taken a beating today. Yes, a little tiny bit of recovery in the last part of the day, but they have broken the blue line. They're down They're down, 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 down. Absolutely in negative red territory for the month. So the NASDAQ has some work to do. Oh boy. And, oh, we're going to see more on that when we get to the heat maps for sure. Dow Jones Industrial still sitting well above the blue line. They are down 0.11 today, but nonetheless, not that bad for the industrial stocks. And well, it's like the little train that could. I think I can. I think I can, said the Russell, and the Russell's been doing it. Russell is the only U.S. Market up today, 0.80 to the positive side. It's just, look at this, fantastic. So why is the U.S. down and Canada up? Well, this is why. We got gold up 9.8%. We got, hold on to your britches, folks. We got silver up 6.75, 6.76, 6.73. It's all over the place, but they are doing fantastic. And copper up a full 1.08% as well. So this is all materials. It's not oil. In fact, oil's having a crappy day, down 1.65 on the price of WTI, the West Texas Intermediate. Oh boy. Bitcoin, Ethereum, both having good days, well on the green. Bitcoin up a full 2.23%. And guys, I know what you're all wondering right now. If Bitcoin has been putting together a couple of good days, what's going on with MTSE? Oh boy. So MTSE, that ETF we all love to hate recently, guess what, guys? I'm just gonna jump right down to them. Look at this. They've strung together a little bit of strength, and they've actually gotten north of $5. So, for some of you, that might be an exit point. Others, it might just be a point to say, oh, there is hope. But yeah, MSTE now up at $5.21. What can I say? All right, let's go back to the TSX, and we're going to switch gears. Pull up our heat. Oh boy, that's the US heat map. Spoiler alert, we're not supposed to see that right away. Oh, right, I accidentally closed the Canadian one yesterday. No worries, I can get it back. I can get it back pretty easy. There we go. Oh, Canada, welcome back to my screen. All right, so banks looking a little better, yesterday, of course, was pretty rough on the financial sector. Today, still a little rough on TD Bank, though. They're down 0.61%. National Bank, also rough day, down 0.95%. But BMO's up 0.40%, so there's a little bit of hope. Scotiabank is also up today. Looking over here, this is actually really, really, really interesting, guys. And I just loaded it. I was gonna say, do I need to refresh this? Because with oil down, we're still seeing some really good numbers on the Canada side. Look at this. See, I am refreshing this. I am refreshing this because I was not expecting. Yeah, it's legit. CNQ up 4.15%. Look at that. Imperial Oil up. Cenovus up. Suncor. This is nice. Like some of the oil companies, yeah, we got some red in the little bit in here, but not too shabby. Over here, of course, look at this. Our non-energy minerals, of course, we got Barrick Gold up 1.07, Cameco up 2.30. Yeah, this is just looking really, really good. London Mining is up 3.67%. I'm liking mostly what we're seeing. And even, check it out, both railroads up. Gotta like it. CP actually up quite a bit, 2.36%. All right, let's now go to south of the border. There's a lot of red. It's like, oh boy, it's a lot of red for sure. Tech definitely feeling the pain. Nvidia down 1.73%. Oh, I guess 169 now. Broadcom, oh gosh, they're down 4%. It might be my fault. I opened a swing trade on them this morning as they were going down. Probably should have waited a little bit before I jumped in, but I'm fine. They're going to bounce back. Microsoft down 2.42. Meta down about 2%. Tesla down 2%. Not a great day. Not a great day if you are into technology for sure. All right. There is some good news, I guess. Johnson and Johnson. If you if you have one of the new single share stocks, actually, one of the harvest ones is a Johnson and Johnson one, and they're up 2.37. So that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all. All right, let's switch to this one of the stars of the show as well. Crypto having a great day. Look at this. Bitcoin up, Ethereum up big time, 6.13. Cardano up 7.20. Dogecoin up 6.45. XRP up 4.18. I gotta always make sure I mention XRP, otherwise what do we call them? XRPers? The XRPers say, why didn't you mention XRP? I do like XRP though. Now we do have a tradition here, and that is we like to go and take a look at some of these altcoins. There is more than 15,000 altcoins out there. I call them crap coins, simply because they're risky. It's like going to the casino, playing a game of craps, so the house is probably gonna win. But let's pick on one today. We're gonna just let's grab this one here. What do we got here? Cava Lend. What the heck is that? This almost feels like, I don't know. It feels like it could be financial. It feels like it could be some kind of a lending thing. I don't know if I would want to borrow a Cava or a Cava Lend. I don't know. Once again, it's not worth very much. It's worth basically 0.417 of a penny. So it's not worth much. It is. Oh, I actually clicked on a red one. This here is showing me green. Oh boy. Anyway, all right. We broke tradition. We picked on a green one. Even though this is doing what the overall market is, I'm pretty sus on them. I'm pretty sus on something like Cava Lend. I don't know. I don't know what it does. It might have a function, and you know there are, you know, I don't like I jump on a lot of altcoins, but there are some that are probably going to make it. There are some that might turn into worthwhile projects in the future. The hard part, though, guys, is if you're looking into the crypto, is trying to figure out which one is going to make it. Well, that's a question I don't want to know. I don't want to answer. I don't want to try to find. You know, yeah, you could read the white paper. You could, you know, you could watch developer chats. You know, catch up with the developers on social media. See if it fits you. For me, it doesn't. I much would rather, if I'm going to make money on crypto, I'm going to make money on the big coins. So your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, Cardano, Solana, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to put us back over here. Ooh, I just wanted to see, as we're up 0.08 on the TSX. So maybe we're going to hold the green today, because that red candle just got its smile moved from a frown to a, well, it got its mouth moved from a frown to a smile. So it turned the frown upside down, something like that. All right. Let's go big and let's hit up the chat. And we've got the bell coming in about 17 minutes, guys. All right. And in first today is not Jonathan. It's Brian with a good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Brian. How are you doing? Rob is in. I'm liking my SVR ETF shares. Rob, I have a feeling you were very happy today. I was thinking about it because with silver exploding, the only mistake I was like, oh yeah, I was like, the only problem is if Rob did sell first thing in the morning, he'd be kicking himself, because it's like, no, look where I could have sold later. But I hope you stayed in pretty much most of the day, Rob. I hope you made a good profit today on that trade. Brian says, quite hard to escape today's red market. I guess I should have sold everything yesterday and moved it all to gold and silver. Well, you know, that's what some people are doing. That's certainly helping gold for sure. You know, uncertainty, people like to buy gold because gold is that safe haven in a red stormy day. Claude says hello. Good day to buy stuff. Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for deals, you're going to get some pretty good deals today for sure. I was going to sell a few stocks and buy them on a red day. The red day came one day too soon. Yeah, the stock market never waits for you. That's the thing. You know, you can have your best plan, but if you're not ready to execute at a moment's hair, your plan may not go together correctly. And Brian saying, wow, Rob, that SVR iShares ETF is up 32% year to date. Yeah, yeah. And look, let's take a look, guys. Let's just take a quick gander. Let's see here. SVR iShares Silver Bullion. Look at this. So today, just today, it's up pretty much 7.5%. 7.5%. And I don't have a year-to-date button here, but I do have, well, I guess if I hit the 3-month, well, actually 1 month. If I hit the 1 month, this is pretty close to the year-to-date because the month starts right about here. So basically that. So the really tall half of this is the year-to-date. That's the best way to look at it. But even looking at the 1 year, like look at this. Here's an ETF that was worth $14.58 a year ago. Look at it now. It's grown up for sure. So it's like, if you bought this back here, you'd need an oxygen mask up here. It's doing well. So yeah, great buy for Rob. Absolutely. Scott is in the house with a good afternoon all. And Rob says, in 2 days of just buying and holding SVR, I'm up $550. Hey, not too shabby. Nothing wrong with that. Brian says, nice. Scott says, will gold repeat its 2012 highs? It's a good question. I am calling, when I was, well, if you guys saw the prediction video, one of the best areas that I've called for this year is materials. So I do expect gold to be up this year. I don't think it's going to, if you look at how much it exploded last year, I don't think we're going to get quite that much, but you never know. There's so much uncertainty and here's the thing, as long as we have the current U.S. administration doing their thing down there, that might keep a lot of positive up pressure on gold for a while. So we could get surprised this year. We could get surprised. I do tend to make my predictions on the conservative side. So, and the best thing is if I make a prediction that gold's only going to do half as good as it did last year, and it does twice as good as it does last year, oh gosh, I'd love that. I'm tickled pink when I underestimate something. Those are that's like the icing on the cake. We have Denise in the building. Good afternoon. I am 6 to 7 hours ahead of you. Yes, over there in, I believe it's Sweden. So that's quite a time. So oh boy. So it's pretty late. It's pretty late there for Nice. So so right here, right now, it's almost 4 o'clock. So that would put it as being almost, is it almost midnight? So, I don't know exactly which time zone, if you're in the 6 or the 7, but I guess it depends on where you are here in Canada. Rob says only 1/2 hour till the close. Grab your SVR. And I got my watch to give me that 1-minute warning, although yesterday I was a little late, even with the 1-minute warning. We also had that weird thing yesterday where my mic just muted itself. I don't even know how that happened. So, every so often now I'm glancing down at the mute button to see, because it's on the computer. I'm looking at it to see, make sure I'm still going. Claude says CSU was below 3K today. Ouch. Yikes. Oh gosh. Let's actually take a look. So CSU, oh my gosh. They have really, really been struggling. So right now they're sitting at 3,035, but Yeah, look at this little bump right here. They got down to, oh my, they got down to 29.78. But it's been a rough day for tech, and CSU, there's just so much going against them right now. I've been optimistic. Even the recent deep dive I did, I thought that they would turn this around, but oh gosh, they're certainly taking their time. They're certainly taking their time. Rob says AMD is up. What did AMD do today? I'm going to pull up AMD here. Let's go. Oh yeah, they're up 0.71% today, so not too shabby. So yeah, AMD has had a pretty good, I'd say a pretty good January for sure. Heck, even their December wasn't bad. All right, and what time is it? We got about 10 minutes, guys, to the bell. Claude says, let's see, in a non-registered, if I buy, let's say, 50 times in a month and sell 10 times, is it viewed as company activity, so taxable 100%? Numbers are just for example. Yeah, that would be. If it's frequent, and that would definitely be frequent. Now, if you were buying and selling in a non-registered account, like maybe you were making one buy a day and one sell a day, that probably might squeak through. But once you start getting into multiples, yeah, it becomes business income. Now, the onus, and here's the funny thing, I'll say this. The onus, of course, is usually on you to claim it as business income. So a lot of times your broker will just return you, they'll just give you a list of your trades that you made in the year at the end of the year, typically, depending on who your broker is. And it's up for you to go through, sort it out, and report how much it is you made. But here's the thing. If you don't report it and the CRA catches you, oh boy. If they catch you once, you could probably just say, oh, I really wasn't aware. And then they'll just, say, okay, this is all taxable. But I think if they start catching you multiple times, then there could be other ramifications that come in there. So you don't want to mess around too much. All right. Rory says, hi all, picked up some EIT, waiting until X to get some more. Nice. Did EIT retreat? EIT, did they, I don't know if they did or not. Let's find out. Yeah, they pulled back a tiny bit. They're still sitting at 16.16 though. So nice. But, holy banana bread. Look here. Earlier today, they made it up to a high of 16.26. Not too shabby. I'm liking that. I'm still liking, I'm really liking seeing EIT above 16. I'm hoping they can hold it. I'm hoping they can hold that line. Rob says, I'm holding on to my SVR till 200. Okay, fair enough. Rob, I hate to say this, but I don't think, I don't know if that'll happen this year, but I think you could be onto something here. Silver is absolutely looking pretty interesting. All right, Claude in with another. Oh, guys, the QQQs. So when we get really busy, we're not there right now, but if it gets really, really busy in here, guys, throw a QQQ or a question mark if you got something directly for me. Like if you're just making a random comment that I don't have to actually respond to, then, don't use the QQQs. Or if you're talking to Lisa, don't use the QQQs. But yeah, if you do have one, because I will try to not miss the QQQs when I'm going through, because if it gets really busy, I may have to skip at some point. I mean, it seems to get busier in here all the time, but now, mind you, I don't mind being behind a little bit because, other than the fact that I get a little out of context. But what can I say? All right. Anyway, back to Claude's question. The 31 days before buying again, is it only for the TFSA or do you have the same restriction for non-registered? Thanks a lot. Okay. In non-registered, here is one of the things. So if you have and this is for capital gains and capital losses. So let's say you have a if you take a capital loss on purpose. So for example, let's say you were holding Scotiabank and Scotiabank goes down. And so you say, oh great, it put me into a loss territory. I'm just going to take that capital loss. great. You can use that against a capital gain. However, if you were to buy Scotiabank back within 30 days, that capital loss, it is no longer a capital loss. It's now known as a superficial loss. So as a superficial loss, what is that worth? It's worth nothing. It doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form. So you basically lose your capital loss if you buy that stock back. So that's one of the big things in when you're looking at outside of a TFSA. So in a non-registered account, and that's just with one. That's just with one. So that doesn't even come into whether you're day trading now or if you're doing aggressive swing trading or frequent swing trading. In those cases, it's all just business income. At that point, it doesn't matter at that point. You don't really have it where, because if you take it day trading, you are selling and you're buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling, but that's all business income. That only applies to capital. So capital gains, capital losses in that area. Emerit says, I'm happy to see MSTE climbing up, thinking because of Bitcoin being at 97K now. Yeah, Bitcoin having a good day. I'd like to see Bitcoin breach back up above 100 again. But I will say, if it hits 100, you will probably see it drop a little bit right away because that's a psychological level. So there will be people who take profits when Bitcoin gets back to 100. But I do want to see it north of there again. Now, curious to know here. Let's actually see here. I have to, there we go. I have to go down here and we'll come over here. I'm curious to see where HBTE is right now. Still sitting at 57.27. I thought it would be a little higher. But yeah, that's where we're sitting in the challenge with HBTE. So I know I don't have any MSTE, but I almost feel like I should have bought a tiny, tiny portion. Then I could make a video like, a big MSTE video. I lost $5 on MSTE. Big fire in the background, all of that. That would be fun, maybe. Now, it kind of makes me want to do it. But I not trying to make light of people who lost like $100,000 on MSTE at all, because I don't know. That would bug me a lot. All right, Lisa. Let's see. Hi everyone. What a cold, blustery day. Depends. I believe, Lisa, you are in Windsor. Are you in Windsor? I think you're in Windsor. Here in Ottawa today, not that bad actually. I took unless it changed. I haven't been out since this morning, but when I was taking the garbage out, it was actually kind of mild, but but icy, pretty icy, but still mild. Rory, sunny and +2, 2C in Saskatchewan, eastern Alberta. Nice. Oh, that's pretty good. Brian, I guess we're now doing the Cross Candace Canada checkup. What is the temperature in your city, guys? Let's drop it in the chat. Brian, +4C, just northwest of Toronto today. Rains a few times, full on winter tomorrow. Oh boy. I'm not sure. I think we're getting snow later this week, so I don't know if it's tomorrow, but it's coming. Rob says 15 degrees here in Calgary. Oh boy, you've got a full Chinook on. Those are that arch big in the skies. Any of you who've never, if you've never lived in Calgary, you probably don't know what a Chinook arch is. But when you look towards the west and the Rocky Mountains during a Chinook, you will have this huge arch in the sky of clouds. And they call it a Chinook arch. It's actually quite stunning. So, and Chinook, great. Everybody, you love it. You love a Chinook. You gotta love a Chinook. Brian says Chinook wins again, I assume, Rob. Candace, why is the spread between the ask and bid so wide for SVR? Good question. Yeah. I guess it also depends. I think, on your broker too. Some brokers depending on what their take is. But yeah, you will get a wide ask bid spread sometimes, especially if it's moving quickly. Sometimes I find stocks that are on the move, you can get, because it keeps on going up, it gets a little bit of a lag between the ask and bid. So that might be what you're seeing in your case. But I know I like to see those numbers really close. I like to see them really close. And guys, it's bell time, and the market's closed. The market's closed. I almost got distracted, Rob. I almost got distracted. Rob says, yes, I presume it's Chinook wins. Absolutely. Now, an interesting side Calgary story is a lot of the side streets in Calgary in the winter, they don't even bother plowing them. And one of the reasons that they don't plow them is, well, because Chinooks are often enough that they come in and just pretty much melt them out. Now, mind you, I guess if you had a really monster snowfall, they probably would start plowing some of those streets. But for the most part, they usually leave them alone. Roku, I think the entire chat is looking at you and hating you right now. Sunny and 27 in Jamaica. Oh boy. Oh, that's pretty cool. Enjoy. I assume, are you on just vacation? Enjoy your time there. Holy banana bread. Nice says right now is 21:55 here. Okay, there we go. No, that's not too shabby. Doorpat is in the house with a hello, everyone. What happened to Shopify today? I bought a few more, though. Well, it's been a bad day for tech right across the board. I have not looked at, let's get rid of the 0 to 100K challenge. Let's pull up Shopify. Here we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. Down 5.94%. Yeah, it's been a rough day for tech. I mean, just going back here to the heat map of the US, you can sort of see, like, look at this. Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia, Broadcom, Meta, Oracle. Just add Shopify to that list for sure. So, what can I say? Oh, I do want to. Now, this is delayed a tiny bit over here because I've got the free version of TradingView. So 15 minutes before the bell, it's the TSX still up 0.04. So not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Larry is in the house. Sold my oil this morning with Trump throwing those sanctions after unsuccessful riots in Iran. There were allegedly 40K Starlink systems used, which Russian tech blocked. Oh, what a mess. What a mess over there. Oh, gosh. At least it's sanctions. I mean, Trump was also going on about, perhaps bringing the military into this, and that's like, nope, we don't need that. Let's just, I prefer the sanctions. Larry continues. A Bayer breaks through the 12s, and DJCO now 640. Still, say 1500 is the real worth. I'm feeling pressure kind of just to hit 100% return this year. Have to make over 100K a week. Oh boy. Yeah. It would be fun to be playing with the amount of money that you're playing with, Larry. It would be absolutely fun. That's a lot. That's for sure. Working Bulldogs. Lisa. I live between Windsor and Leamington. Strong north wind with snow flurries -3. All right. Muggsy has -18, feeling -23 with the wind in Kirkland Lake. Scott says, what happened to the bell alarm? It happened. It gave me, I was only about 30 seconds late because I started to get distracted. I'm going to blame Rob. I'll blame Rob. Yeah, no, I can't blame Rob. It's my fault. But at least, I had my hand on the bell and everything. So I like the 1 minute. I wish, well, the other option, guys, is I could set the alarm for exactly 4 o'clock. Then the alarm goes, I just go for the bell. But then I may not be able to give you guys a warning. But then it's like, how often do I give warnings anyway? Maybe that's the better option. I'll reset the alarm for 4 o'clock tomorrow. We'll try it that way to see if I can prevent that 30-second because quite literally, alarm goes off, I go straight to the bell. So yeah, that would mean I'm like at most 3 seconds late. Amarit says, I love my GLCC, something like that for silver that pays dividends, but a growth hold would not be would not be too terrible, would not be terrible to capture the upside. Okay. Yeah, GLCC has been fantastic. They're not super aggressive with their covered calls, so you're not losing a ton of the upside. You're still losing some. But like if they could do an SLCC, I'm going to do some more digging into, into some of the material ETFs. And I have a feeling we're going to see more popping up as well. So that's kind of cool. All right. Why Dole Still Care says, a friend worried about having enough savings after selling home. Could you suggest a few safe, low-risk stocks or ETFs that might provide steady income and help preserve their capital? Okay, all right. Yeah, now here's the thing, and I guess this is kind of one of the questions I would have. Is this friend, are they at the retirement age? Or did they sell their house and they're a lot younger? Because that kind of would determine what type. Now, you mentioned as well that steady income. So I'm thinking you're wanting something that is much more, you're getting some growth and you're getting a good amount of income coming out of it as well. And yeah, that to me, that's always an important factor for sure. So even if you look at on the channel, I've got a whole bunch of videos on sort of like growth and income at the same time. Those might be ideal, but at the same time, if they don't need a high income, then they could almost peel back to to some of the basics, some of the growth dividend growth. So some of those growth ETFs. So things like some of like Vanguard or a simple S&P 500 ETF. That would be a way to certainly preserve their wealth, but they're not going to get a ton of dividends. So it really boils down to exactly where they fit on that row. Or if they are fully retired and it's like, I want, I just want to maintain whatever the value is of my savings, but I want as much income as possible. That would also be a slightly different answer. So definitely provide me with more information. I can't really narrow it down because there's three potential answers in there. Three potentials for sure. And Steven is in the house. Let's see, long-time listener, first-time chatter. Nobody's ever used that before because, on the radio shows, long-time listener, first-time caller. But yeah, I love it. This is great. Best opening of the day so far. So long-time listener, first-time chatter, used your TFSA to create a portfolio, to create a portfolio in October. So thank you for the research. Added some mining stocks after Fed announcements. Very happy. Well, I'm glad you're happy, but I hope, and I don't mind you guys using my TFSA, but use it as an idea. Use it as an idea to jump off of, to do some research. So always research your stuff, guys. Just because I present stocks, you want to still make sure you're doing your own research because it's your money. You worked hard for that money. You don't want to just listen to some random, Yahoo on on the YouTubes. You want to always do your own research, no matter how good of stocks or ETFs that someone presents. Always do your research for sure. I have a feeling, Steve. I have a feeling Steve does his research, but I just thought I would mention that right away. Let's see. Elaine is in the house with a hey y'all. Rob says, what is a fair commission by a dealer if I buy 16 ounces of silver? I don't know, Rob. But you know who I wish was here? I wish Jordan was here. Jordan buys a lot of silver, physical silver. But there's a few others that buy silver. Any of you guys know what's a fair commission? I don't really deal in the physical silver myself, Rob. But I'm sure somebody here will hopefully know. Drop it in the chat for Rob, please. LOL, blame Rob. No. I very quickly pulled it back. I pulled that back for sure. Larry says, all right, I'm starting to dislike the pressure. Yeah, it's mostly middle class people's money, retirement, and funds for their kids' college. Without me, these people would work forever or be in debt. Yeah, absolutely. And even then, and here's the thing: if you're running a fund like what Larry does, and once you start giving people some results, their expectations start to get pretty high, and then it gets to a point where if the market just isn't cooperating, it can be a lot of pressure running something like that. So I can absolutely understand that. Muggsy says set tool. Ooh, Muggsy, I can do that. That's a great idea. I'll set the 1 minute, and then I will have so that way there, and then have the second alarm. So I can know that the 1 minute's there. I can give the warnings, and then the second alarm goes off, and great idea. Okay, that's brilliant. That's so brilliant. I should have thought of it. I should have, but Muggsy, that was awesome. 1 minute is long enough to start a tangent. It is. It really is. But here we go. Here we go. We got a new strategy. So I'm going to set a second alarm. All right. Yes, she's retired. House for sale, but she thinks she needs more money. I don't think she's considering investing. Okay. So here's the beautiful thing. So where she has retired. So I'm going to assume when you say she's retired that she's also 65. So hopefully she's getting OAS at the very minimum. I don't know about if she has got pensions coming in at all, or if her income is currently low enough that she has GIC. Now, the beautiful thing about the house, if that was her primary residence, it's entirely tax-free. So that's very, very good. Unfortunately, and this is the unfortunate part, the money she makes on that house may not be tax-free, because depending on if she has no idea about investing, she probably has never invested before. So she's got a little bit of space that she can use in her TFSA. So her TFSA, she's probably looking at roughly, I don't know, roughly 107,000 or maybe 114,000. She can get that information right off of the CRA. And if she's never invested before in it, then it's got the nice pure number there for her. So although it may not yet still have that 7,000 from this year, because every year you get, this year we got 7,000. So the beautiful thing is, if she wants to, and this is kind of how I would look at it, I'm like, okay, well, let's find some really good income stocks. So some income stocks that are preserving wealth. So, I always look at it this way. If we're in a bull market and you've got an ETF, like whether it's an income ETF, if it is not going up, I'm not going to touch it. I don't care how much income it's giving me. If it's not at least maintaining its value in a bull market, I don't want to touch it. Now, there are exceptions. One of the exceptions is if I was holding one in the energy sector. The energy sector kind of moves on its own. Like, it can be in a bear market when the rest of the market's in a bull market, or vice versa. It can certainly. So I kind of will judge it that way. But what I would be doing is in my TFSA is I would certainly be looking at getting some of my probably my bigger income stocks. So bigger income stocks that are keeping gain. And the reason I'm going to go with the bigger ones in there is that it's all tax-free. So all of that income that it's producing is tax-free. So you can get a nice tax-free stream coming out of there. And what's beautiful about the tax-free stream is that it's not going to count as income. It's not going to cause any kind of a clawback on OAS. If she does have GIC, it won't cause her to lose any of her GIC. So that's a beautiful thing. Now, once that is full, at that point, because depending on how much she got for her house, maybe she got 500,000. At that point, there's a couple of other options. You could put money into the RRSP, but honestly, all that's going to do is it might create more income later down the road, especially when it converts into an RRIF. So I wouldn't really be looking at stacking up the RRSP at this stage. And she might already have stuff in her RRSP, depending on if she had any kind of matching with her work, or if she'd been putting into, to defer taxes during her working years. So when it comes to that point, and this is where I would kind of wage it, because I like dividends. I also like growth. So the way I would sort of look at it is the amount of money flow I have coming out of my TFSA. If that is more than enough and everything is adequate, then I'm probably going to put the rest into more growth oriented. So maybe with smaller dividends, definitely tax efficient holdings outside of that TFSA, because that for me might be, well, this is the money that perhaps goes to my heirs. So I might look at it that way. But if I still need money, then I'm going to look at the more tax efficient ones. When it comes to like covered calls, things like HDIV, for example, is very tax efficient. And, that would be a good one to hold outside of a TFSA, for example. So yeah, that's kind of how I would do it. And I would kind of structure it that way. And you could really build, you can build a pretty good portfolio, a very good portfolio. And there's no reason why she should ever worry for money for the rest of her life. Even if she lives to 100, because you can get this to be self-sustaining. And that's the beautiful thing. So I don't think she's going to have much of a problem. She just has to be a little smart about it. And yeah, she can do it. Absolutely. All right. Scott says VDY isn't a bad choice for income. Yeah, VDY would be another great one. That would probably be one of the ones I would have outside of the TFSA, but generating income for sure. So there's a lot of different ones that you could certainly have. Yeah, thank you. There we go. Silver Gold Bull is currently selling 1 ounce silver maples for $10 over spot. Okay, there we go. So Lisa has a little bit. Newell, any thoughts on uranium? It's radioactive. No, seriously. I do love uranium. I think uranium is going to be one of these commodities that is going to be, the demand is only going to go up for uranium. So as we see more and more moves towards nuclear power, and we're seeing it. I know we got a few people here who really don't like nuclear power, but the reality is some of the CANDU technology in Canada is already being sold to other countries. They're very interested in our small modular reactors, so SMRs. And I think they're going to be big. And of course, well, you need uranium for these reactors. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a demand. And the beautiful thing, especially here in Canada, is some of the best uranium in the world is right here in Saskatchewan. It's one of the reasons Cameco has been doing so well. Rob says $10 more per ounce for silver. And once again, I don't know. This is you guys are going to have to talk about. Let's see here. If you buy more than 25, you get it in a tiny bit cheaper. Costco has the best price on maples, but you have to buy a tube of 25. Current price is $3,089. All right. You're welcome. Rob says, dang, good play money. Don't spend it on candy by accident. Amrit says, I think you can sell the Costco silver to TD Bank and RBC. I have not looked, but curious if Wealthsimple sells silver like they do with gold. I don't think so. I think they're only doing gold initially. I do think though that they plan to expand. I think they're planning to expand to other elements. So I would not be surprised to see silver down the road. Let's see. Spot price of silver today is $129.46, or so $129.46 Canadian. That's cool. I like that. All right, I'm gonna have some coffee, guys. All right. Larry says, I did 900%, 500%, 2,736%, maybe 100 to 200% this year. I think I can still hit home runs, but I have no clue what all happen upon. 60% of my plans are random, 40% event-driven, all guesses. Well, your guesses are pretty good, Larry. They're definitely pretty good. Oh gosh, I just had my coffee, but here is Mary, our official captain of the like button. So guys, it is time, and I'm going to refresh my test account over here to see where we're at. But guys, it's time to hit that like button. Um, you know, let's see if we can drive it to a whole new record. I don't know what the over. Actually, I don't know what the record for the life of the channel is, but I know right now in January, the most likes we've gotten on a live stream has been 74. So the record would be 75. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to hit it. Right now we're at 30. Okay, we got a long way to go. But guys, definitely please hit that like button. It really does impact the algorithm, and it's the best way you can support the channel. It really is. All right. And hi, Mary. So good to see you. Lisa says the gold and silver you buy from Costco can be sold anywhere. It's RCM Maple, Sunshine Mint, and Pamp Suisse that they carry. All right, there we go. Larry says, I want to start buying dividend stuff since we now have cash to do it. I want to play safer so I don't lose everyone's money. Some is money from 80-year-olds for their grandkids. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing. Any kind of hedge that you can create to sort of preserve a wealth, that's definitely really, really good. All right. And, oh, holy banana bread, guys. I just seen something. Let me just pull this up. Here we go. I gotta zip ahead to get to it here. There we go. Wydole has just gifted 5 Mountain Finance memberships. So let's see who won. Sush, Kara, Richard Sunday, Newell. Hey, and Newell's here, and Amaret. Amaret's here as well. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you very much, Wydole. And holy banana bread. So let's drop some goats. So our first goat, of course, is our new goat. This was a former secret goat, but now it's not so much of a secret. Guys, just get ready. We got a goat-a-thon happening. It's a goat-a-thon. You know, am I goating you guys on? I don't know. And we got this one, and also this goat. And not only that, we have our 5th goat as well. And that's our ice goat. Our ice goat. What can I say? Well, I can say thank you. I can say thank you again. It really, really, really helps the channel. And guys, here's the beautiful thing. We've got coming up Thursday night, we actually have a channel member live stream. So we got a channel member live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. So you can come in, and that's where there's not as many of you guys, so I can really get into a lot of depth. And I think right now, one of the big themes that's gonna be coming up on Thursday night is swing trading. I've got a lot of questions about swing trading that we're gonna dig into. So not too shabby, not too shabby. All right, and we were in the middle of Larry's conversation here when all the fun happened. So Larry says, I always think of this Munger quote 2 weeks before he died. I could have been the world's richest man, he said. Instead of taking higher risk, he was safer for Berkshire DJCO investors. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, absolutely. With great power, Larry, comes great responsibility. And I think I'm going to get sued by Marvel, but that's okay. It'll be worth it. Scott says, I dumped the rest of Marin today for a modest gain and bought HGY. So expect HGY to drop tomorrow. I hope not. I hope not, but yeah. What is called a whispering small modular reaction? Sorry for the uncle joke. Oh boy. All right. Amaret to look into. I do like natural gas. I know I get most of my exposure through Canadian natural resources because they certainly have it. Torlamine also has a good amount. I'm pretty bullish on natural gas, to be honest. I think it's fine. Newell, oh look at this, Amaret and Newell side by side, and they both won memberships. I guess it pays to hang out with those two. Newell, do you think all the AI stuff going on would make some moves in uranium? Well, that's a good question. Um, yes, and I'll tell you where I sort of see this going. So one of the big moves, of course, is because of AI, because of all of the advancements. And guys, if you guys think AI is sitting on the sidelines, all you need to do is go to YouTube. Well, you're here, but after the show, just look at some of the CES stuff. So the Consumer Electronics Show that happened, what was it, last week? And you'll see AI is not even slowing down remotely. And now we got robotics, all of that fun stuff. Now, that all of the AI takes a lot of power. And even some of the big tech companies now, they're starting to invest in nuclear power plants. I wouldn't even be surprised somewhere down the road to see OpenAI buy a power plant. I would not be surprised. But yeah, absolutely. All of this big explosion in AI, and that explosion isn't going anywhere. If you've heard people say we're in an AI bubble, even if we're in an AI bubble and it popped, AI's not going away. AI's not going to slow down. It's like it's like the dot-com bubble. When the dot-com bubble popped, did the internet go away? No, it certainly didn't. Same idea with AI. It's here to stay. The only thing that would stop AI, quite literally, is if we had a solar flare from the sun that completely fried the entire power grid. That would probably put AI on pause for a while. But outside of that, AI is here to stay, and we need the power for it. I imagine down the road, and it's probably going to be AI that figures this out, but I imagine AI will eventually figure out ways to do what it does already at less power. But for the foreseeable future, yeah, I think uranium is going to be in big demand. So I do like uranium. Paul is in the house with a good afternoon. Now, Rob says, is silver and gold stamped Kirkland? And let's see, Lisa says, another good thing about buying precious metals is you get the cash back reward. Nice, yeah, especially if you buy it with a card that has cash back, right? Amaret says, thank you. All right. Newell, thanking Wydol for the very generous gifted Mountain Finance memberships. I love it, love it. Paul says, had cash left over from distributions, bought 3 shares of MSTE at 521 at open. Nice. Yeah, it's amazing that MSTE broke $5 again. I was just like, ah. But keep in mind though, if Bitcoin turns around and comes back down, MSTE is going to do the same. So just keep that in mind. Temper your happiness if you're an MSTE fan. All right, Paul, I saw MST got up to 548, then closed at 521. It did, it sure did. Scott says, I don't think Wydol is Wydol. I think it's why do I? Why do I still? Oh, you're right. Why do I still care? All right. Leave it to me to create another word. Larry says, be right back. I'm into 2x MicroStrategy this morning. And Newell, and now I can see the green. I'm loving the green color on you, Newell. Well then, are there any uranium ETFs, or would buying the individual stocks like CCO, PTU, U.UN, and PDN be good choices? There's no different ways. Like I think holding Cameco, I think that's a great idea. There are other, like there's uranium royalty stocks out there as well. Um, I don't know if there's any just straight up uranium ETF per se, but I imagine we'll start to see them. Now, if you're looking for income as well, there are, and I normally like to stay away from those harvest single shares, but I do like HHIS, which has all of them. But they do have one for Cameco as well. And that one will probably do well, but you will lose some of that upside. And if uranium gets as big as I think it's going to be, you might want that upside. So I think CCO is definitely a way to go. Or I think most of these will do really well. And also, like I said, like URC. Let me pull up URC here. Whoops. Let's go to this one. Uh, yeah, so stocks like this. So URC, this here is the Uranium Royalty Corporation. So even today, it's up. It's up 1.74%, and I'll show you the last year on this one. Yeah, so this is just royalty. So basically, they own a bunch of royalty on uranium, and they just get paid. They just get paid. That's kind of how royalty stocks work. So that's not a bad option either. So, and I have a feeling that with this being a really strong year in commodities, I think we're going to see a lot more commodity focused things start popping up. So, and you take, well, you take even just some of the ETFs. I'll give you one example here. If we go to, is it XMA? Yeah, it is. XMA. This here is your iShares S&P TSX capped materials. So this is going to have a little bit of everything. I do believe they have some uranium. This one is all growth, like quite literally. You got a tiny, tiny dividend on it, but they also have gold, silver, so you're getting exposure to a lot of stuff. Like today, they're up 1.1%. I'll show you the last year on them as well. So there's definitely a lot of different options, a lot of different ways that you can gain that exposure to uranium. And I imagine that a few people in here who love uranium are probably going to be dropping some other options for you as well. Let's see. Lisa says, no, it's not stamped Kirkland. They carry Royal Canadian Mint, Pamp Suisse, and Sunshine Mint stuff currently. Same stuff you would buy at a local coin shop or online dealer. Check out their website. Paul says, why do I still care? 263 is birthday February 1963? Maybe. Or maybe it's just the random numbers that that Google gave them when they were setting up their name. That happens too. Yeah, what is going on with MSTR and BTC? Are there a reason MSTR and BTC is going up, or just people being bored? Well, strategy. So strategy, MSTR, they're going up because Bitcoin's going up. They hold an insane amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So that is driving them up. So this is a Bitcoin story. It's not really anything else. And when we look here, let's go back over here to, oh, how did this all of a sudden get, there we go. Coming back over here to Bitcoin. Here we go. So sitting here at 97,685. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is still recovering, and this is nice. Right now, there's no pressure. There doesn't appear to be any kind of pressure pushing Bitcoin down, which is nice. So I can't see anything stopping it from getting to 100. I can't see anything stopping it. As long as Bitcoin keeps going up, we should see MSTE following, well, strategy, hence MSTE as a side on that. I do think Bitcoin's going to have a strong 2026. I think before the end of the year, we may get, and I even predicted a new all-time high sometime in 2026. I would say, oh gosh, I almost think the first half that we might get a movement up as high as 150, and then a lot of selling, because that's a huge psychological level. So yeah, I'm watching Bitcoin for sure. I have my, I've got HBTE in the challenge, and that's kind of my Bitcoin play at the moment. Claude says Hura. So HURA is a uranium ETF. There we go. So there's one. So I have Hura and CCO both. So CCO is better, but you never know. Yeah, let's take a look at Hura. Let's pull up Hura. HURA. Here we go. Whoops. Let's actually get rid of the extra I in there. There we go. Yeah, the Global X. There we go. Global X Uranium Index ETF. Yeah, and it's nice. This one doesn't have a big yield, so you're going to get most of your upside on this. But obviously, if Cameco does a lot better and they're only exposed to it, you won't get the same upside as you would with Cameco in that case. But uranium overall has been doing pretty good. So this one here, it's gone from well, $37 to $63 over the last year. So it's been doing pretty good. And Paul says commodities have more up and down than other stocks that go up and to the right. Yeah, commodities have a lot of volatility. That's one of the things. When you are investing in commodities, just be prepared. Know what you're investing in, of course. So if you do have a lot of volatility. Expect to be up and down, but don't panic. That's just a normal thing. Um, what counts is, well, what counts is going from $37 to 63. That's what counts. So the long term counts. All of the normal volatility, not so much. All right. Paul says the time to buy gold and silver could have been the summer or a year ago. I still think it's going up. I still think it's going up though, Paul, but I think that it's not going to go up as much as it went up last year, but I still think we're getting a move to the upside. So I don't think you've missed the boat. I think it's more or less you're jumping on the boat midstream. But it's still got a destination to head to. Yeah, exactly, Kira, once again. I was looking at PTU. Seems like they are similar to URC. PTU, let's take a look. All right, PTU, here we go. Pure Point Uranium Group. Okay, all right. So this here's they're smaller. They're what I would call they're a penny stock. They're a penny stock. So I tend to avoid penny stocks, but if you're gonna have a penny stock, at least have it in something that is got a little bit more potential. So yeah, look, they have gone up. They've gone up from 26 cents to 47 cents. Yeah, they've doubled. They've doubled in price, so that's not too shabby. And this is very similar to some of the pictures that we've just seen. Let's see here. I'm just going to pull up their back end here for you. Pure Point. Let's see here. This I don't like. I don't like that they've got, it's return on equity, negative 201.07%. That to me is like, okay, that says that they're not profitable yet, but if they're a new company, sometimes that's part of the journey. But could this be a good one? It could, but it is riskier, just to know. So like something like a URC, they're profitable. There's no danger that there really isn't a lot of risk with it. PTU is a lot more riskier just from being a penny stock, but it also could be a bigger reward if things work out well for them. So that's something to always keep in mind. I'm always very cautious with those penny stocks. Sky says EFR Energy Fuels has been very good to me. Let's take a look at EFR. EFR, here we go. Energy Fuels. Oh, look at that. They had a good day, up 7.5%. That's not too shabby. And yeah, here we go. So here's a company that's gone from $7 to $28 in the last year. That's pretty good. So obviously they've got some diversification in here as well. So let's see here. Yeah, and they've got uranium concentrate. There we go. Love it, love it, love it. Is it just uranium? Let's see. Vanadium oxide. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly uranium. I don't see anything else in here outside of that, but yeah, not bad. And that's a U.S. producer. Now, mind you, I will say, Cameco, of course, being in Saskatchewan, they do have some of the most sought after uranium in the world. And the reason for it is that it's more pure, it's more refined. So it takes less. So let's say you're making a reactor, you don't have to refine it as much because it's already in really good state. So it's less time to refine it to the level you need for a reactor. And of course, and I won't even go why you would refine it more than what you would need for a reactor, because I don't want people buying uranium for that. Scott says, I sold my GLCC in January of 2024 because of how it was doing. I think it was for a loss. Oh no. Oh boy. Yeah, I bet you wish you still had that. Newell says, I only have around 0.5% of my portfolio in PTU, but I think I might add URC to even that out. Thanks for the information. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome for sure. All right. Coffee time, guys. Oh, so good. So good. Paul is in here. Year-to-date total return, HBTE plus 12.7% versus Blocks 8.8% versus IBIT 5.2%. HBTE winning. Nice. Yes. And I'm, like I said, I'm at my total return right now on, now it's not year to date total return. It's since I bought it. It's pretty much, I bought it very early when it came out. So, but that total return is up around 50%. So I get in nice and low though. Scott says U-238 is what they use in the reactors and it needs to be enriched. Scott, you have so much interesting knowledge. Scott fascinates me, guys. Scott fascinates me. It's like, he can talk, he's got a lot of science behind him. And of course, that's my background. So that's why anytime somebody wants to science me, I'm like, perfect, love it. Keep it coming. And you guys probably know, any of you who've been a long-time viewer, I can go off on tangents into science. It happens. And I'll tell you guys something. I started a science channel a few years ago. It was just way too much work. It was way too much work because this, of course, being my flagship channel, my all my energy channel, I just didn't have the time for the amount of work that went into it. But I do have some videos out there. I've got one video on what happens to the solar system when a rogue black hole comes through. I thought that was fun making. That was a fun one to make, but I just didn't have the time to do both. So you guys won all my time. You guys get it all, and I'm okay with that. Amarit says, I wonder if it's a decent time to come into HBTE. Well, I would wait till Bitcoin retraces, to be honest. If Bitcoin retraces back down to the 80s again, HBTE will come back down, and that might be a better opportunity to get in. I'm always worried when we're pushing higher and higher, unless you're dollar cost averaging, and that's another option too. Just sort of say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to buy 5 HBTE every Monday at open or at noon, or and then that's fine. Then you're going to hit it. Yeah, you're going to pay a little more right now. It's going to retreat. You're going to pay less. That's not a bad thing. Useless knowledge. Yeah, I guess unless you're actually working in science, a lot of science can seem like useless knowledge. But I don't know. I look at it like a lot of my approach to investing. So a lot of people say, I love the methodical way that you approach things. And, it's 100% from science. It's like, it's like the scientific method. It all comes in. It all comes into that. And, that was my original training. I did a double major in university, so biology and chemistry. So I do tend to approach things from a scientific window, but I'm able to sort of turn that around. It's not like I'm going to lecture scientifically. I just try to, I guess it's just my overall philosophy on life, and it tends to work really well. And it also is really good at keeping the emotions out of the equation. So, because as you guys know, those emotions, that's how investors get in trouble. FOMO, FUD, all of that fun stuff. Steve is in the house again. XMA is my best performing ETF, up 11.25 in 18 days. Yeah, XMA. So that, once again, is those iShares. I love this. They have this whole line. So they've got all of the iShares capped, and those are all just dividend growth. So those are all, you got XMA, XEG, XST, XUT. There's a whole bunch of them, but they're pretty good. I like them all. I do like them all. Actually, I think I got 3 of them currently in the 0 to 100K challenge, and I don't know why I don't have XMA in there too. I might just add them. Paul says in YouTube chat. There we go. Scott says, we would get flung out into interstellar space. I believe, Scott, that's pretty much, I think, what happened to Earth in that scenario. Yeah, the odds are is that we would be thrown out into space. We would become what's called a rogue planet. And that, of course, isn't going to be good for us, mind you. Now, mind you, if we did get thrown out into space, we could still live underground for a long time because the Earth has a lot of heat of its own. You just look at the internal temperature of the Earth. It's pretty high. But eventually it would be doom. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to live on the surface anymore. But, I'm just saying, it's still possible that we could live. But the problem is something like a rogue black hole coming in. Well, actually, the biggest problem, guys, is if a rogue black hole is coming through the Oort cloud, it's going to start sending. Basically, we would be in the middle of a shooting gallery. So we probably wouldn't even know that the black hole is coming before we got comets. We got comets hitting us that might be extinction level events. So we're probably going to die from that. But the planet itself, yeah, more than likely will be flung from the solar system. Not just us, a lot of planets. A lot of it, and it's really interesting too. A lot of it too depends on where the planets are in conjunction to where the black hole is coming through. But for the most part, yeah. Amarit says, wow, XMA has really flown up in the past year. They've done well. Newell says, FOMO is such a big issue for me. All these commodities going to all-time highs. My brain has been exploding. Yes, it's that whole fear of missing out. And that's what I always say. Like, honestly, if you are a person who gives in to emotions, so, the fear of missing out or fear, uncertainty, and doubt when things are falling, your best strategy, quite honestly, is dollar cost averaging. Just dollar cost averaging, it takes all of the emotions out of the equation. And, it could be something as simple as, let's say you have, I don't know, if you have $100 to invest every 2 weeks, because, that's what's left over on your pay. If you've got $100 and let's say you decide, okay, I like canoe. I like canoe. I'm gonna buy about let's see, canoe's around $16. Maybe I'll buy 2 shares of canoe every payday. Then that's what you would do. You would actually, and one of the ways you can do it, and this is beautiful with Wealthsimple, you could drop your cash into Wealthsimple with enough to buy for the next few weeks or so. And you could actually have Wealthsimple buy at a specific time every 2 weeks. So that would be one way to avoid. That would be one way that you could absolutely avoid, the whole fear of missing out or trying to say, okay, well, I'm just going to hold on to this cash and hope they crash in the next week because maybe then I can get them cheaper. And it works. It works. I mean, the reality is people who dollar cost average in general, most of the time make more money over the long haul than people who are trying to time the market. It's, it's true. It's true. So, for me, I like personally, and, I don't want to be a hypocrite here, but personally, I like a combination of buy the dip and dollar cost average. Like dollar cost average for the most part, but I like to have a little bit of money set aside for when we get things that happen like Independence Day. I was going to say a Liberation Day, like Liberation Day. So, on a day like Liberation Day, you know what I'm doing? I'll pull things out of my cash ETFs. I'll cash them in and I'll buy stuff. If we get another Liberation Day type event, I'll sell every single one of them. I'm okay with that. But that's kind of the way I play for the most part. All the plants would die. Yes, they would. I mean, yeah. I mean, if we had to live underground because the Earth got thrown out of orbit, we won't even say a black hole. Let's just say whatever, something happened. We would have to grow plants ourselves. Now, I know, is it Norway where they have the seed? There's a place where they have like pretty much seeds for in case there is a cataclysmic event. So they have the seeds for almost every plant in storage. So we would probably have to rely on something like that and we would have to really work on the technology because all of a sudden we have to provide that light. We have to energize the chloroplasts, so that, within to make sure chlorophyll does its job to make sugars. So yeah, I mean, chances are we're not going to make it. This world is not organized enough to pull that off. But if we had enough time, maybe. Amaret says cap materials, I guess, is a really good time to go in. This is interesting to see. Candace, you should do a video comparing all the BlackRock ETFs on performance and top Rockstar. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. for sure. So, I do love those. But it would be fun just to have them in a single list video, right? Because I'm pretty sure there's at least 5 of them there. Because I can think of 3, 4 immediately. There's got to be another one in there. So, all those posts, videos saying Earth is going to lose gravity for 7 seconds later this year. Yeah, no. Gravity doesn't work that way. You can't just turn it off. The only way the Earth could lose gravity for 7 seconds is there'd have to be no Earth for 7 seconds. And even then, you're still going to be affected by gravity. Well, you'll still be under the influence of the sun's gravity, the moon's gravity. So yeah, it's even if there was just me and you, Paul, the entire universe was gone and it was just me and you, we would still feel each other's gravity. So yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. Sorry, make that 12 days. What, 12 days without gravity? No, it isn't happening. And there's these other posts too, and I can't believe people, like I've seen people sharing it thinking, oh my God, I can't believe this is going to happen. The world is going to be in darkness. There's going to be no sun for this 1 month. That this is something that happens every so often. It's like no. It happens if you live because of the tilt of the axis. If you live at the North Pole or Antarctica, you do have periods of time where you have complete darkness for a good amount of time. But that's because you're tilted away from the sun, and no matter how you spin, you're always tilted away from the sun during that part of the orbit. So, yeah, it's not. Oh, YouTube science. Sometimes it makes me cringe. Not so much like I laugh at it. I'm like, oh my God, that's stupid. But it makes me cringe that there's a lot of people that buy into stuff like that. I'm just like, oh my gosh, no. Scott says, imagine a weapon that generates a mini black hole that you could fire across space at a planet. Well, here's the problem. I mean, there's a lot of problems with that. I mean, obviously, first of all, even with a mini black hole, I mean, you still have to accelerate this thing. So if you're firing it, obviously the fastest you could fire it would be the speed of light, but that's not probably going to happen. So that's a weapon that would take a long time. I mean, unless you're firing it at a planet in the solar system, but even then, how would you contain a mini black hole? And anyway, just it's an interesting thought. Interesting. And a side note, guys, and I know we've talked before. I think I mentioned this before. But the Schwarzschild radius of the Earth is about the size of a pea. So what that means is that if you could somehow squeeze the Earth, the entire Earth, down to the size of a pea, the gravity at that point would become so intense between the molecules in the pea that it would collapse in on itself. But now, here's the interesting thing. If the moon was orbiting the Earth and the Earth then got crushed down into that little tiny pea-sized black hole, the gravity the moon would feel would be the exact same as it feels right now, and it would still orbit. It would orbit that little pea black hole. No problem. See, black holes, I mean, it still has, in this case here, it would still have the mass of the Earth. It would still have the same amount of gravity. But anything that crossed the event horizon, which would be at that P surface, that stuff could never get out again. Anyway, what can I say? Holy banana bread. All right. Paul says, market makers like to shake people out to sell their shares. They sure do. They sure do. Whales used to be really famous for that with Bitcoin. Now it's getting harder for them to manipulate it, but they used to do that. Oh, even back in the early pandemic. It was a big thing. All right, guys, we've got a new channel member. Stephen has joined the channel membership. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome to the channel membership. And now that once we hit the final goat, we just stay with the final goat. So you will, of course, Stephen, you will get a whole bunch of benefits as a channel member. So one, you'll be able to go to the channel membership live stream that we have Thursday night. Two, you're going to be able to watch all of your videos one day early. So the next video is the Friday video. You'll be able to see that tomorrow afternoon. So that's always fun. And plus you will get, you'll have access to the community, to the channel member version of the community tab, which means you'll be able to see my swing trades and things like that, and any other extra stuff I feel like throwing at the channel membership. So it's pretty darn cool. All right. Now, Scott says, gravity is the curvature of space-time in the presence of matter. It makes no sense that Earth could lose gravity. Yeah, it can't. Claude, my problem is not FOMO per se, rather that often I sell too soon out of fear of the stock dropping abruptly. Okay, fair enough. That's, once again, though, Claude, one of the ways you can get around that is to have a plan. So if you're, like with swing trading, I like to have a plan. And to me, it's like, yeah, it's kind of a neat thing to, what's the best word for it? It's just a way that, you can really preserve your wealth, because so many times people will start riding something up and they're riding it up and they're riding it up and they're like, oh, then, you gotta, nature calls. You go to the bathroom, you take a little longer than you were anticipating, you come back, and it's well on its way down because something happened. So having a plan, having stop losses, things like that in there, that can preserve profits. So that's always a good thing. Like I try to keep a plan going. And we'll certainly. And Claude, are you a channel member? No, you're not a channel member. I was going to say I would talk more about that on the live stream on Thursday night. Maybe before Thursday, there is another show. Maybe somebody can gift Claude a membership. I wish you could choose. That's one of the things that we don't have here on YouTube. Over on Twitch. So Twitch, when you're gifting subscriptions, you can actually, there's a little link that says specific member. And that way there you can give one to one person, but here, nope, it's all up to the algorithm. Now, the more active you are, I think it increases your odds. But sometimes I look and I see names in there that don't appear active, but you never know. They could be lurkers. And we got a good amount of lurkers. And, if you're a lurker and you're liking the video, that's activity right there. And the algorithm likes that. So speaking of likes, how many are we at, guys? I'm curious now. Boop-a-doop, boop-boo. Oh, gosh. I got a couple of things right in front of my refresh button. All right, here we go. I'm refreshing just to take a look to see. And we're sitting at 44. Guys, it's like half of you. Only half of you have liked the live stream. Guys, come on. I'm going to have a drink. Just I have a feeling that if you guys don't hit the like button a bit more soon, Mary's going to pop in. I got a feeling. All right, very good. Yeah, Richard Sunday is thanking, why do I still care? There we go. I was going to say why doll again. Why do I still care? Yeah. Awesome. Oh, and it's good to see you, Richard. I don't know if I've ever seen you before. You might be one of those awesome lurkers I was talking about. Newell, we've moved on from the Earth being flat. Yes, hopefully. There's still people who believe it's flat, but, I don't know about you, but I've been up in airplanes, and you can see the curvature of the Earth in an airplane. So, I'm just saying. Keto Lion says, yup. Scott, you'd have to build it in a particle accelerator and then release it. Yeah, absolutely. But of course, there's always... Yeah, I don't know. I would, yeah. All right, let's go to, what are your thoughts on Sun.V? I don't know what Sun.V is, but I have a feeling it's a penny stock, but I have a feeling it's going to have good fundamentals, Andrew, because you don't bring me bad ones. You really don't. Let's pull it up. Sun.V. Here we go. Stardust Solar Energy. Okay. Is a penny stock, 13 cents. Let's take a look. Oh, Scott, normally, or Scott, sorry, Andrew, normally it's moving in a slightly different way here. So let's see here. Okay, so it used to be up around 17 cents. It is currently down. What do they do? Obviously, solar energy. Renewable energy installation services, solar, photovoltaic energy storage and EV charging infrastructure. Interesting. All right, well, yeah, that's an interesting area. Of course, if we do ever, I think right now they've put a lot of the EV mandate on hold, but if that comes back, that could certainly work in this company's favor. But let's take a look in the background here for a second. Okay, it looks like I don't think they have any debt, but I don't know why we don't have a return on equity, but we do have a return on assets of 105.33%. That's interesting. So there is, yeah, that is interesting. I don't know what to think of it. I know it's a penny stock, so obviously because of that, I'm a little bit leery. I'm always leery of the penny stocks. I don't have a lot of data though. This is one that if I was gonna even remotely think about, I would want to do a lot of homework on this one. Find out what they're doing, find out if there's anything going on. Like for example, the news. I would be in here. So, oh, well, here's something right away. Look at this. This is what I would be looking for. So, so they just secured a 20-year power purchase agreement for a 30 megawatt utility scale project. Okay, this is a good thing. This is good. And I think this is expands revenue pipeline with launch of Star Droid AI. Okay. So yeah, right now I'm just looking in here and I already see some things in here that are very positive. See, Andrew, you're not disappointing me. So yeah, there's some potential here. I'm just looking at this, the fact that they've got some agreements. I'm not saying I would jump in on them, but I definitely think they're probably worth watching. That is interesting. Let's see. Brian, Brian says, is that a science question or a stock question? Well, it's kind of a little bit of both in a way. Amrit, been noticing that REITs are finally decline, which is nice because I was able to move some of my ZRE into RMAX. Yes, REITs are doing a little better. I do think that they're going to have a better year this year. So I'm good. I'm okay with my RMAX. I'm not going to get out of it or anything like that. I'm liking it. So I'm hoping to keep it going. Claude, let's see. For London Gold, I plan to sell 5 shares at a time every time their price increases $5. But someone else would simply sell at 175 all the shares. I don't want to take that chance. Yeah, exactly. It's so when it comes to taking profits, you can dollar cost average your profits. So you might say, okay, well, I got a stock. It's really high. I'd like to take some profits, but how should I do it? And you could do it simply like, maybe every Monday I'm going to sell 1 share. That's one way to do it. And that way there you are taking profits off the table. And if they keep on going up, each Monday you're getting a little bit more of profits. So that is one way to certainly approach it for sure. Scott says, gotta check the likes because that's how to unlock the next goat. Scott, not going to confirm or deny anything. I haven't even given a first hint. So, maybe it is. Maybe there's a like goal. I don't know. Well, I do know. I can't say I don't know. I do know, but that could be it. I know right now, like I said, we're sitting at 44 likes. If there were a like goal, it was not 44 likes. I will say that much. Amrit says, I've been watching TSLY, which is Tesla Harvest Holding. Yes, absolutely. It has a nice dividend yield. I know you have been swinging Tesla CDR. Are you bullish on Tesla or is it just a short-term play? No, it's not that I am bullish on Tesla long-term. I really see I see an incredible future for Tesla. I think Tesla is going to be massive. We're not there yet, but I can see when you start putting all the pieces together, I really think this ecosystem that Elon has built is really going to be huge. And this is the ecosystem. Elon can just do his own thing. And maybe he won't be there forever. I don't know. But the reason, though, and here, let's come back over here. So let's go back here, and we're going to go over here to, actually, let's go to this one. This is the CDR for Tesla. So, we were looking at a few different things. I'm just going to collapse this a little bit here. So I'm going to collapse it a little more because I want to sort of show you one of the reasons that I like Tesla so much is they've got a good predictable volatility. So you can sort of see here, this was one of their channels right in here. So I was able to play this. I was able to play this channel up and down, and make some profits. And before that, we had a channel over here that was doing the exact, this was a really good channel. This was a really long channel, but Tesla tends to get into this channel and they tend to be very volatile. So now that we broke out of this channel, look and behold, it looks like we're starting to build a new channel. So I'm going to, these yellow lines, by the way, I do have a swing trade going on Tesla. I initially entered it here, but I did a few maneuvers. The channel members are all aware of. And if you guys were here yesterday, I talked a bit about it. But I have now moved it down to my break even here, which is at the top of where this new channel appears to be building. So I might need to do a bit more on the next wave down, but or not. I'll probably just buy it. Once it gets up here, breaks even, it's going to probably, if you guys notice, we might have this channel developing here. So I'm really, really excited about that because then it's like, all right, Tesla starts making me money again. I'm looking at it. So Scott says, for Sun V, they are just over a year old and will likely have some share dilution as they need to raise capital. That is a possibility as well, absolutely. Another danger with penny stocks, that is one of the main ways that they do raise money for sure. Rob says, I saw a YouTube video today by an Asian AI guy that said silver is going to $200 because the solar panel companies will pay the max contract price. After that, it'll be renegotiated. What is silver at right now? Let's just take a gander. So right now, silver sitting at 93. I think silver is going to have a really good year. Like last year was gold's year, and this year will probably be silver's year out of the three commodities. Next year is probably going to be copper's year. So it's like gold, silver, copper. Like we're moving up the periodic table on group 11, but I do like silver, and I don't know about the $200 if it'll get there by the end of the year, but it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibilities. I may not believe it, but could it happen? Yeah, there's a possibility. There's a possibility. I'm not willing to go all Super Bowl at the moment. I tend to be conservative bull. I'm conservative bull. All right. Jan is in the house. Hi, Jan. Good to see you. Hi, everyone. Candace, could you look at LMT if you have time and see if you think it's going to continue going up? It's been really good, but not sure if it's going to head down or up again. All right, well, let's take a look. Let's pull up LMT. What is that? Lumine? No, it's not. It's Lockheed Martin. CDR. Are you okay? Well, we'll look at the CDR. Doesn't matter because they're both going to move in the same direction. All right, let's take a gander here. All right, so oh boy, yeah, it has. I was gonna actually open it up in TradingView to see if we had a channel to play with. We don't. So this is a situation where, yeah. So I like this long term. Lockheed Martin. And the reason I like it is that there's so much pressure on military building that this is going to probably skyrocket. Now, does that mean it's going to keep going straight up? No. Obviously, we're going to get corrections. We will always get corrections. It feels like we could get a slight correction sooner than later. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this come down a little bit and then make another move up. Now, mind you, I don't think it's going to come down and spend like half a year down or anything like that. I'm talking about, look at here. After this big move, we got this, and then we got another big move. It could be similar to that, or, maybe a little bit longer because this was pretty fast, but I do see it as a good thing. Now, if I was holding something like this, and I'm thinking more on the long-term area, And this depends. Like, I have a feeling, though, that you're swinging it, though. So if you're swinging it, at this stage, I would probably get out, and I would probably wait to see if I got that correction. If I don't, I'm going to get it eventually, and then I would get in at a new swing a little bit, maybe higher up, but I would wait for a correction to get back in. And I don't even, and getting out, here's the thing, though, and this is the beautiful part about this. If you're wrong, if I'm wrong, if you're using a stop loss, if you're not just selling it, you just throw in a stop loss. So right now it's sitting at 32.95. So let's say you threw in a stop loss at 32.75. Well, then if it does fall down, great. It fires your stop loss. You get your profit, and then you buy at the bottom and start your next swing trade going up if this is the one that you're working with. So I would probably put in a stop loss for sure. See what happens. That's what I would do. Obviously, you have to decide what you want to do. No matter what you do, I think you could turn it into a learning experience for sure, and that's always a good thing. Sue says, FOM is a copper mine that's been doing great the last little bit. Yeah, let's take a look at FOM. It's funny, every time I see FOM, I'm waiting for the other O, so, the FOMO. But yeah, so the Foran Mining Corporation, FOM, and look at this. Today they're up almost, 4.698%, so basically 4.7%. And we'll pull up the last year. So yeah, they, since about mid-year, so it's basically since the summer, they have been on a bit of a tear for sure. And I always like to go into the back end and take a look and see. So they have a little bit of debt, 37% debt to equity. Now they're still not profitable yet, so they're probably a fairly new company. I have a feeling though that that'll change in this field, and with the demand for copper going up, I can see them getting, and they're not deep in unsoluble. I was going to say unsolubility, but that's a completely different thing. I think that's going to change. I think they'll get into the positive probably sooner than later. Can you buy a stock on another exchange like HK? I'm interested in YOMC. Depends on your broker. There are brokers that have access to other exchanges. I know Wealthsimple doesn't. As far as I know, they don't. But I think there's a couple of, I think the interactive brokers might. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe somebody can confirm that for you, but you would have to be on an exchange that gives you access to it. Amarit says, so I guess getting the Tesla CDR might be better than the Tesla covered call. I was just debating as a year out hold, so debating both, and the dividend return is nice. Just thinking which way. Depends on what you're doing, right? If you're holding it for, if you want the income, then yeah, the Tesla's not bad. Tesla's not bad at all. I mean, you do lose some of the upside for sure, and you will notice it with Tesla because of that volatility. So you'll have lots of opportunity to lose upside with it, but it still does pretty good for the most part. Now, if you are doing swing trading, well, why would you want to lose any upside in a swing trade? You're not even going to get the dividends because your swing trades are a little bit shorter. So in that case that's the reason I go with the CDR for that. Though I did mention before, I did once do a big swing trade on TSLY, but that was unintentional. That was completely unintentional. If that question still shows up, I meant YOFC. All right. FOM is all-time high. The mine is to start up this year. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, I like it. I like it then. Yeah, I think it's probably going to do well. Like I said, they're not that deep. They're not that far away from profitability, and they may already be there because that data is from the last time they reported earnings. So, if they have not yet reported their Q4s for last year, they may already be in the profitability. So, always keep that in mind. Let's see. I think it's one of the mines that was in Carney's list. Oh, well, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Mines. Yes, FOM was on the major projects list. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys, we're well past our normal ending time, but hey, we had great conversation. I don't mind going over when we have a great conversation. All right, I will be back here again tomorrow. We're going to do this all over again. Tomorrow we will open up the Friday show if we want to add for the Friday show, all of that fun stuff. And maybe tomorrow we'll unlock the the next goat. The next goat. We might unlock it. Today, well, we got 53 likes. I'm liking that number. It can be higher. You guys can do better. I know you can. Anyway, do me a solid on your way out, though. If you have not yet hit that like button, do it on the way out. I will see you guys tomorrow. But I've got one more thing I did want to say to you guys, and that is, well,